Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 8 at Delaware Park on Saturday. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. $300,000 is the purse. Some late blooming 3-year-old fillies that might be on the road to the Kentucky Oaks. We have a field of 8 in here and 2 horses that were based at Oaklawn Park over the winter. The 2 Piece of My Heart, the 1 Comical, the 1-2 finishers of the Gardenia Stakes at Oaklawn. They're the 2 favorites on the morning line. And as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, it's an interesting pace projector, Mike, because I think there's speed in here. This pace might get a little faster than Timeform US believes.
Yeah, I thought that there was speed in here too. Well, I guess we'll see what they do with Piece of My Heart, who obviously doesn't need the lead, Dan, but they put her on top in the Gardenia and it worked out well for them. I wonder if they'll just try and make the front again with her.
I think Alex Cintron's got to get aggressive with the 1 Comical, who was the winner of the Grade 3 Schuylerville as a 2-year-old, did a very productive juvenile campaign when trained by Doug O'Neill and finally took that step forward, at least from a buyer's standpoint, last time out in the Gardenia. Now, no problems with the trip Joel gave her, sat in the pocket, just not as good as Piece of My Heart that day. But again, at least it was a step forward. And I think from this inside post, they're going to try to get close.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. She just makes a lot of sense in this race. I thought she ran really well 2-back on that sloppy track on a pace that was very contested that she was part of. And she was only second best last time, but she ran well in that race.
Piece of My Heart raced 3 times at Oaklawn. She was beaten by a promising runner, Fire Coral, in her first start. Then she came from off the pace in her second outing. And then this race, the Gardenia. Great ride by Joe Talamo. Just put this horse right on the front, said, come and catch me. You see Comical down towards the inside. She's chasing in vain. Piece of My Heart is never in danger of losing this race against some pretty solid fillies.
Yeah, I thought she ran well in here too. And I agree with your take on the ride Talamo gave her, because there was a point early in that race where a rival came up to challenge her and she just did not concede to that horse and went on with it. And you saw that she just took the field the rest of the way in there. That was a really good ride and a career best performance for this filly.
Laurel Park's leading trainer, Claudio Gonzalez, claimed Princess Katie for $16,000 last year. She's won 3 races, including this effort, the Beyond the Wire, going a 1-turn mile. And this race earned only a 77 buyer speed figure, but it was a no doubt about it win for Princess Katie. She won off by 7 lengths. Needless to say, this is a big step up in class, and her going a 2-turn mile and a 16th, to me, Mike's a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, I didn't like her taking on the added distance in this race. I mean, she's 3 for 5 for this trainer with 3 blowout wins. This is a much tougher race, however.
Trainer Lacey Gaudette's having a really fantastic year down at Laurel, and she's showing a lot of confidence in the 4 Long Point Beach, running her off about a 6.5-month layoff. She won her last 2 starts. Now, both of those races came over wet tracks. Let's watch her effort on January the 10th. 1-turn mile. We're going to see Long Point Beach in here. Just game it out. She's been on the lead from the start, and it looks like she's going to get swallowed up by several of her opponents, and she never gives in. Let's give her a lot of credit for this performance while realizing she is going to have to do better.
Yeah, this was a very, very game performance, and I will give her credit for that. We'll just see if she can, improve by a lot in this race, because she's going to have to improve by a lot.
I think if you don't fancy the Oaklawn trained horses, Hopeful Growth might be the interesting long shot for you. This is a filly, and I love the way she's been handled. They've stretched her out incrementally in distance with a good amount of success. Let's watch her race at 7 furlongs last time out, only her 3rd lifetime start. This race is at Tampa Bay Downs, and she's the 3 to 5 favorite on the outside. She sat off of this moderate pace. She's on her left lead right now, and she's just going to go by these horses. And once she changes leads, she bursts away to win by open lengths. And the buyer was solid, Mike, 81 for only a 3rd-time starter. To me, she's got the pedigree to stretch out to at least a mile and a 16th.
I agree. I think she'll get this distance, and I do think she's improving with every start. I've sort of liked her since her debut last year at Monmouth. Dan, I thought she won by a nose that day. I thought she ran really well, just considering the trip she got in that race. And then, she ran fine off the layoff. I thought she took a big step forward. She did get a really good trip last time, I thought, but she did take a big step forward as well.
Project Whiskey is a stakes winner sprinting at Parks. That race was 3 starts back, and since then, nothing's gone right for her. She's only finished ahead of 1 horse in her subsequent 2 outings. Now, this is her second start of the form cycle, and she can certainly improve. She was chasing one of the better 3-year-old filly sprinters in the country in Frank's Rocket last time, and that Hello Beautiful is very, very good, the horse that Project Whiskey chased 2 back. So maybe a little class relief in that regard. I just don't know how far she wants to go.
Yeah, that was my concern too. And then you add in the fact that, stretching out in this race, she's probably going to be a speed, and there's plenty of speed to her inside.
I think Dream Marie is dirtied up simply by that last running line. I don't believe she's a sprinter. They turned her back to 6.5 furlongs in that game face, and she was awful. She didn't run at all. But her prior races against horses like Tonalist Shape and Swiss Skydiver, I feel put her right in the mix. And I think this pace could heat up for her.
Yeah, she could get a really good trip in this race. And you're right, this is a race where she's getting some pretty significant class relief, considering who she was facing down in Florida. So she's a horse who does make a lot of sense in this race.
Queen Bridget's cross-entered in the Iowa Oaks at Prairie Meadows on Sunday. She fits in either one of those races, either this race or the Iowa Oaks. We talked about it in the Iowa Oaks Stakes preview. They ran her on turf last time out. Her only wins come on turf, but her big race came 2 back on dirt against Gamine, who, of course, came back to win the Acorn with a 110 Buyer Speech, graded stakes quality in her own right. But as we said, it was a race where she got a great trip and ride. They relaxed at the back of the pack. They probably figured they were on the 3rd best horse. They got her to the outside, and she ran 3rd.
Yeah, she just sort of sucked up there to a career best figure. She didn't really run that well in that race. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to say that she's better on turf because she certainly run okay on dirt, but I sort of suspect she prefers to be on grass.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Delaware Oaks. $300,000 is the purse on the 4th of July. You're going with Hopeful Growth. Nice price here, stretching out around 2 turns for the first time. She's all upside, Mike. I don't think we've seen her best yet.
I don't think so either. We'll see what kind of price she is. I didn't know that we were going to get 10-1 on her, Dan. We'll see what kind of price she is, but she has to be a fair price. The 1 and the 2 are both good horses.
We've got the same super, only in a different order. 5-1-2-8 for Mike. I like Comical's last run. I think it puts her in the right direction. I like this inside post for her as well. I think she's going to obtain a nice forward spot, and she'll be in the thick of things turning into the stretch. 1-8-2-5 for me. The Grade 3 Delaware Oaks has an approximate post of 4:45 Eastern on the 4th of July. Best of luck.